Hello, Internets, and welcome to this video where I'll be attempting to save a RM PC all-in-one, and then I kind of disassemble it and see how you access the internals so that I can upgrade it at a later point. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the video. I have both my RM1 all-in-one systems, and this one will not display an image on the screen if I can just pivot it a little, and it doesn't seem to want to come on at the moment. There we go. Well, it says check video cable. It was saying check signal before, which is rather interesting because I did just unplug the video cable in the hope that saying that would resolve the issues I was having. With this monitor, I know it works, so if I've got a good signal to the monitor and it suddenly magically works, I know the problem is somewhere here or the connection to this, and I might even be able to take this off. Given my experience with these RM machines, which is this one, as you can see I've put a nice Lenovo display here and it will not focus on it. Yeah, a nice Lenovo Heatsink display on here. So I think it should be quite upgradable. It's just getting in at these little screw holes down there seems to be what I'd need to do with that. Warranty seal hasn't been broken though since 2007, so at this point, a 15-year-old machine with a Pentium 4, it's bound to run into a few problems because it's Windows Vista and an early 775 board. I can work that out, so it's bound to run into a few problems if it's not been opened in all this time. The fault, however, potentially is the video card with all the heat going on in there, since it does have a dedicated video card. So I could try and change the VGA output from where it is now in the video card to the one next to it, which is the inbuilt graphics, and then boot the thing. Before invalidating my non-existent warranty, I'm going to try one more thing, because the hard drives on these machines are often very slow or failed, because as I say, it's never been opened in 15 years. It's still got the warranty seal on there. So I'm going to try booting it and just leaving it, because another problem, it might not enter the BIOS. So if it's not entering the BIOS and the hard drive is being slow at the same time, sometimes I might just have to wait. I've also got this attached to the integrated graphics, while this is attached to the graphics card. So should it, for whatever weird reason, be sending graphics video to one monitor or another, I have a monitor per output, so that will cover that base. The only thing I really got to do is just wait and see if I get any sign of life before opening it up. I did also see what looked like a Wi-Fi card back there, which I was not expecting, so quite a bonus. And I was, yeah, I mean, that makes it even more worth the money, because I bought this knowing it didn't work completely and that I could just put another motherboard I happen to have in should I need to. I have been playing my Forza on this all-in-one while I waited for however long it is now, probably about 25-30 minutes, and still nothing. I did plug this mouse in and to see if it timed out kind of and went to a black screen, make sure I wasn't missing the obvious. Nothing still. But what's interesting is I am getting a light here, as so you would expect when you plug a mouse in. So it's not acting like the motherboard is completely dead and not giving any output to anything. So I think a possibility is the graphics card is dead. I do have a GeForce 210 with a bracket from another GeForce 210, so not such a big issue. I can change that over, and whatever graphics card in here, it's probably like 64 or 128 megabytes of video memory anyway, for not a very good card. So replacing it wouldn't do it any bad. It wouldn't do it any wrong. And even going down to the integrated graphics, they'll still likely do the job that I'm asking of this, is what I'm saying. Here we have the PAT testing sticker from when this was naturally a school computer, because that's what they were designed for. It says it was last tested in 2010, so 12 years ago now, and they were hoping to test it in 2013, but between then it was presumably decommissioned. So that should give you an idea. The screws as well on this one, they seem to be these standard screws. They always look like they've corroded a little. Why am I showing that off camera? That's not going to be any use to anyone. But yeah, they seem to have almost corroded a little, and come on, focus, there we go. All my screwdriver just got to them, but maybe a combination of the two. Yeah, we should now be able to do the very exciting thing of carefully removing the warranty sticker. Yes, I preserved this moment for on camera. Void. To be honest, I'm amazed though this would even last until, say, 2010 without having a RAM upgrade, because they're pretty easy to do. Oh, there we go, there's the other screws. Which, my screwdriver isn't magnetic, so, you know. Oh dear. Now what's that that's come off? Looks like a brittle clip. I did on my Viglin stick a clip back on because that has a plastic back panel, so it is possible to do that. I'm not going to sweat it too much. I've got some pretty strong glue. Come on. Seems like this corner is kind of half in there still, but here we have a graphics card of some description. If I turn the camera, because I can't see it with my eyes in the position. It's got a fan of some description, but I'm not seeing it being distinctly anything. Oh, now that is interesting. Not sure if it took a knock at some point, but that RAM is not seated properly, and I have had RAM that's not seated properly stopping a PC booting, stopping it displaying anything, believing it or not. So it may be that simple. I've just reseated the RAM here, and more bonuses to be found, because this is Hink's 512 megabytes, two of them by the looks of it. Whereas I figured by the stickers down there in the case, where the cables plug in, that it was just 512, and that's 256. So that's a nice bonus, because, as I say, it hadn't been opened before today. So there we go. That looks like a pretty standard cooler there for 775, but it's on a Pentium 4. I can already feel this thing getting hot, and it's not been on for that long, as I say, maybe 30 minutes or so, to see if I could get anything to display, and I couldn't. So I think now, kind of, I would say test fit, but I know it fits on here. I know everything does fit, it's just, can I shuffle it round without doing any damage? Hopefully so. No idea what that drive is actually. If I could try and pivot the camera. It's a Desk Star, I can tell that much. August 2007 though. So I didn't see the capacity or anything, but that gives us an idea of just how old this machine is. So it's a mid 2007, I would call that. Maybe late 2007, mid to late 2007. Let's see how it does then. It should boot then, because there was a glaring problem that was stopping it booting. No signal input still. Ah, there we go. But maybe the video card is dead or something, because I don't know if it was focused on it or not, but you should have seen there was something coming up on the Flatron. Something doing its business on the Flatron. Yay! Windows Vista, it works! I don't know if the video card works, but quite frankly, I don't care, because the entire core of the PC, the motherboard, the RAM, all of that important stuff does work. This card reader sure is in there, and I'm pretty sure there's a screw hole beneath it, but it's like a full height card, but the bracket has been fashioned into a half height bracket, kind of forcefully. Very strange. I mean, I'm going to keep using it because it works and it's not heavy enough to be under a particular amount of pressure, but it's strange to say the least. So this is, I think, a Radeon 2400 Pro. That's what I've got listed as from the part number, which is a HP part number. Things are getting more and more fascinating here, because why on earth would a HP part be in a machine from RM which still had the warranty seal in? It just doesn't make logical sense. Hey, also there's S-Video. I didn't realise that. I thought it was just DVI. So you see, it lines up with this picture I've got up, exactly. It lines up with that, but I don't know how I would fix this if it's broken. And it's 256 megabytes versus 1 gigabyte and HDMI. You think I can see where my bias is. We can get a good look at this Hitachi Desk Star. It is an 80 gigabyte hard drive. We know that. See if I can get the RPM. 7200. Oh yes, those old iMacs. The what's it, G5s and such. I think they were 5400 RPM. So we're winning. The aluminium ones are 5400 RPM. These machines are real winners. Mainly though, you can just get one of those WD black drives, like a 750, and stick it in here, which is 2.5 inches but the same speed, and stick it with an SSD, or I don't know, maybe the same capacity even, and have a lot of storage and a lot of speed in a smaller space. Here we have the PC, and here we have the very flappy monitor. Well, I got that speaker working as well. Not sure if there's supposed to be one on the other side, but that's not working. There's a speaker working there though, and it actually sounds quite good, I must say. Better than my other all-in-ones. Now there are screws there. I'm not sure if one's missing on that side. That's how it seems. I'm not seeing a screw there, but I can definitely see like something reflecting there. So maybe one of these screws is missing, but it's still just hanging in there. I'll have to get it off and see what's going on. Here we have a image of the PC. This was published April, so just before my PC was made, I think. I think mine was March, was it? No. Most September, wasn't it? I don't know. But anyway, it's about the same time. This is the second generation all-in-one, apparently. And we have the latest revision with an 80 plus PSU. I did not know I had that, but hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah, all that stuff. This is one thing I wanted to get to. Internal stereo speakers. So one of them working is not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to have two of them working. I don't know if that's a wiring thing, or if the speaker is genuinely dead. I doubt the speaker is genuinely dead, knowing the type of PC this is. It's not like a hardcore audiophile machine or anything. So, this is irrelevant. Anyway, I'm guessing I have to take the entire back of the PC off, not just this panel, but go deeper to get this off, which seems like a pretty poor design, but if they've designed it that way, that seems to be the only way to get through to a screw that is down here, and the screw that will hopefully release this whole thing. In this position you can get a really good look at this CPU heatsink and all of the muck that has accumulated on the ears in the fan. This is clean, comparatively at least. There's a passive heatsink. Seems to be cooling card fine though. That is mucky again. I really should get these cleaned out before it blue screens again, as it did do once upon a time. It has a lot of audio ports. I mean, a surprising number if I'm honest for what's not a super high-end board. So that's fine. Officially this is the maximum RAM it supports, which makes me want to stick 4GB in, but I don't have 4GB. So it's going to have to be on that for a while. With the motherboard removed, I can see what I believe to be 2 speakers. One here, which is, yes, the one that wasn't making any sound. And this one, which is the one that's known, proven, working, all the rest of it. Let's just get a zoom in on there. There we go. Looks like you can unscrew them though, at least. So if they are dead, they're replaceable. And you can see they're behind the monitor, which I do like. Means I can use any monitor and it will still have speakers. I figured this may be the case, since they do sound as good as they sound. You know, usually monitor speakers have a severe lack of bass, and it's always been that way. These actually aren't so bad. I don't, as I say, think those speakers look too bad for condition. Yeah, they're old, yeah, they've been used, but whether I can get the other one working, I don't know. Not sure if I mentioned it before when I was just going on about the speakers, but there are 2 screws here for monitors, which, going off my knowledge of the RM here that we've got, probably aligns quite similarly to what you use. Well, that's just a decorative panel, but here those 2 screws are actually the ones that hold the monitor on ultimately, so I'm guessing there's a similar thing going on here. Just another report here, really. My hunch was correct. It does come right off. This is a very interesting monitor though. It was designed specifically for this. Whereas you see that, it doesn't naturally fit on my monitor that well, because I've got a Lenovo panel here, which was not the original monitor. It's one I added, as I think I mentioned earlier. This was designed specifically for that. This also had Hans G on it before, and it was very much a similar case. It didn't have the back kind of moulded to the case, because it wasn't designed specifically for the case, but it did have a decorative panel, which I've reused as best as I can. So I've just got you a close-up of the inside of the monitor here. Hopefully it'll focus eventually. And if I just grab a piece here at the side, that's where the rattling noise was coming from. More information on the power supply now, being a C-Sonic, and also on the case over here we have all of these catchers which look like it needs to slide down from what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna have to try that, maybe undo some of the screws on the very underside of a PC. So to see if I can get this front panel here off. Okay, so I just dropped the bottom panel straight off the PC here. Came with a couple of the wheels as well, and then oddly the other 2 wheels are mounted to this part, which does slide down. Yes. Why it had to be so complicated, I don't know, but it's off now. and I guess I'll have to write the book on it because no one else seems to have done it, not even RM themselves. Probably cable management, but it does look like I could jerry-rig a 2.5-inch hard drive in there, so that's always good. And here we have our completely standardized system of mounting a floppy drive or card reader or such, whatever you want, really, taped in place, well, once upon a time. Here is our Samsung DVD reader. So yes, some good bits in here, given that we've got a Samsung drive as well as a Seasonic power supply. These parts will feed directly to the power supply, which is still plugged in because I've been unable to find a chance to unplug it. Sure, I didn't have to go as far as I did technically to unplug this from the machine and get it out, but I feel it's necessary. I don't know how to slide it out, but I'm going to have to finish off doing this and then I'll join you in a moment. Okay, so I found clips on this piece here actually. Here we go. I lifted it up like boop, boop, boop. It did come off eventually. And I do naturally in the process have some broken brittle plastics. It's an old thing, it's not being treated as a showpiece. It's whole life, so things like that happen. What I'm going to do here though, I'm going to put a metal washer underneath and melt some plastic here to try and get it to the point it's solid, basically. I think the screw where does the screw go in? So that's the front of it. Yeah, the screw will go in the back, so I'll put the metal washer back here, and then on the front end the screw will go in with the additional plastic, and it can look, the mess can look, it won't matter as long as it's solid. Okay, so just a quick refresher. This PC is weird, okay? You can take this side off. This side, it doesn't seem you can get it off. It seems, though anyway, it would be just disassembling it for the sake of disassembling it, because I don't think I'll ever need to remove that from the PC. There's just nothing on, there's nothing in there that really does need replacing unless the entire panel is broken, the entire piece of plastic here, at which point replacing the entire thing wouldn't go amiss. This though, it's not like a complete monitor in here, it also has like kind of a monitor inverter thingy in there. Now I have seen on eBay there was, I think that's circuitry, so I might just find one of them to use a monitor as a standalone display and jerry-rig a stand of sorts onto his Vasa mount. It seems like the best option because that, as I was saying, you have, hopefully I can just find it. I think it's this one. No, it's not that one. That one just came unplugged again. And I think it's this one, is it? No, that is a floppy. Don't worry, I will eventually find it. I'm competent, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure you can see. So that is the VJ output to the monitor. This shows it quite well, and then there's another that comes out and goes to an end of a VJ cable. So really I just need that part to kind of plug into the monitor instead of using this one, because it also handles other things. I believe it handles audio for the front, and I don't want to lose these speakers. As I say, they're quite good. So I've been thinking about this, and as it strikes me, the mount for this monitor combined with this circuitry is just far too proprietary, so I'm not going to change the monitor. It would just do more harm than good. It's not like these where it's really easy to do. You can't on these. Not that easily. And the optical drive, sadly this also has to go. Although it doesn't write DVDs, there's nothing wrong with it apart from the fact that it's IDE. And as I say, it's an absolute pain to get in the front of it and change it, so best off I do now, while I've got the thing open, change it to a SATA drive for only £15, and then I can have better performance, perhaps slightly, from the optical drive, and I won't have to go back in there and change it. I'll only have to take the back cover off. I also have a combination of an SD, micro SD, USB 3 and USB-C reader. I probably won't be able to use them on the old motherboard, but I will be able to use them when the time comes to replace that. I would think with something significantly more modern. And that's all I've got for the time being. The story will continue in later videos, but for now I have got into the PC and I know how everything's connected. The motherboard is all working, as is the RAM. I have got 3 GB as of this point in time. I did have 2, but I managed to squeeze 3 in, which seems to be just below the limit. The limit seems to be about 3.1 of what the motherboard will take. And I have also learned it won't take 64-bit operating systems, even though it should, it doesn't. So we've got that. It's not like with any less than 3 GB of RAM you'd really notice anyway. Still, with that being said and done, goodbye until another day.